I am Naomi, and I did not come to comfort you. I came to awaken you. Like this video now, because what you are about to hear will expose hidden forces working against your money. Comment and share this message, because someone close to you is trapped in this cycle and doesn't even know why. Watch this video until the very end, because stopping early could leave you blind to the real reason your finances never rest. Do you feel it? The pressure, the leaks, the constant loss no matter how much you earn. This is an ex-occult insider revealing what was never meant to be spoken, and the danger is real. You were taught to budget, you were taught to work harder, you were taught to earn more. But no one ever taught you why money can obey some people and violently resist others. I am telling you this with authority. You are not irresponsible. You are not cursed by chance. And you are not failing because you lack discipline. There is an invisible financial drain that operates beyond logic, beyond math, beyond income levels. I saw it while I was inside the occult. I participated in it. I helped activate it. And now I am exposing it. There are people who earn little and somehow always have peace. And there are people who earn much and are always gasping for air financially. That difference is not accidental. It is spiritual alignment or spiritual leakage. When a person cannot save money no matter how much they earn, it is often because money is being spiritually redirected before it ever settles. You feel it as emergencies. You experience it as sudden expenses. You explain it as bad timing. But spiritually, it is called harvest diversion. In the occult world, we understood something most people never consider. Money carries assignment. It is not neutral. It responds to authority. It follows legal doors. If a legal door exists in your life, money will obey that door instead of obeying you. This is why two people can live in the same house, earn similar income, and experience completely different financial realities. One accumulates. The other bleeds. The one who bleeds often says, "I don't know where my money goes." But the truth is, it knows exactly where it is going. There are spiritual systems designed to create constant outflow without stability, not poverty, not total loss, just enough income to keep you hopeful, just enough pressure to keep you exhausted, just enough loss to keep you anxious. That is not coincidence. That is strategy. In occult practice, this is considered a successful financial binding. You are allowed to earn. You are not allowed to keep. You are allowed to receive. You are not allowed to rest. And here is the part that shocks people. Most of these bindings are not created by witches sitting in dark rooms chanting your name. They are activated through agreements you didn't know were agreements. Words spoken in anger, vows made in desperation, patterns inherited from family lines. Statements like, "I'll never get ahead. Money never stays with me. I work too hard for nothing." Those words are not emotional releases. They are legal permission. Spirits do not need belief to operate. They need access. And access is often granted through repetition. Every time you speak lack, frustration, or hopelessness over money, you reinforce a spiritual permission structure. You may pray, you may tithe, you may fast, but if the legal door remains open, the leak remains active. This is why some people pray harder and still lose more. In the occult, we were taught to watch for people who were financially vocal but spiritually unaware. Those were the easiest to target because they blamed themselves. They blamed the economy. They blamed circumstances. They never confronted the spiritual root. Let me tell you something that may make you uncomfortable. If money leaves you faster than it comes, something is pulling it. Bills alone do not pull money. Needs alone do not pull money. Only authority pulls money. And if you are not exercising authority over your finances, something else is. This authority can come through ungodly soul ties, unresolved covenants, family altars, spoken agreements, unbroken patterns. I saw families where no generation could ever build wealth, not because they were lazy, but because the bloodline was dedicated to survival, not stability. As long as survival is the highest spiritual permission, abundance will feel illegal. You will feel guilty saving, uneasy resting, anxious when money sits too long. Have you noticed that? You save, then suddenly feel the urge to spend. You accumulate, then feel pressure to release it. You receive a bonus, then something immediately goes wrong. That is not impulse, that is enforcement. Spirits enforce the boundaries of agreements. And agreements do not expire just because you are unaware of them. This is why education alone doesn't fix this problem. You can read every finance book. You can watch every budgeting video. But if the spiritual leak is active, information will never overpower enforcement. You are not fighting habits. You are confronting systems. And systems require authority, not effort. This is the first truth you must accept if you want freedom. Money loss is not always a spending issue. Sometimes it is a spiritual eviction notice being served the moment money enters your hands. And until that is confronted, money will never feel safe with you. It will come, it will touch your hands, and it will leave. Not because you are broken, but because something else has been given permission to collect. And now that you see this, the responsibility shifts, because awareness removes innocence. And what you do next determines whether this cycle continues or breaks. There is something far more dangerous than poverty. It is unconscious agreement. In the occult world, we did not waste time fighting people directly. We watched what they agreed with. Because agreement is authority. You can reject witchcraft verbally and still empower it legally. Money does not disappear because it wants to. It moves because it is summoned. And summoning does not always look spiritual. Sometimes it looks emotional. Sometimes it sounds like logic. Let me take you deeper. Many people who can never save money are bound by spoken covenants formed during moments of trauma. A child watches parents fight over bills. Fear enters the nervous system. The child silently decides, money causes pain. That sentence becomes law. Years later, money enters that person's life and triggers subconscious threat responses. Spending becomes relief. Saving feels dangerous. Stability feels unfamiliar. Spirits feed on what feels familiar. In occult training, we were taught this principle: what your soul recognizes, spirits reinforce. This is why chaos repeats. If your nervous system associates money with loss, conflict, or shame, stability will never feel natural, and whatever feels unnatural will be rejected. You may call it self-sabotage. Spiritually, it is agreement enforcement. Then there are generational vows. Statements passed down like inheritance. We've always struggled. No one in this family gets rich. Money doesn't last with us. These are not observations. They are declarations. And declarations outlive generations unless renounced. In the occult, bloodline agreements were the most powerful. Why? Because they do not require your conscious participation. You are born into them, and unless they are confronted with higher authority, they continue uninterrupted. This is why some families can never break certain ceilings. The moment someone rises, something pulls them back. Illness, legal trouble, addiction, unexpected responsibility. Not random, strategic. Then there are relational covenants. You tie your soul to someone who carries financial disorder. You merge emotionally. You agree relationally. And suddenly your finances mirror theirs, even if your income is higher. You cannot outgrow what you are spiritually bound to. This is why some relationships feel expensive. Not just financially, but spiritually draining. Money leaves because peace is being subsidized. In the occult, we knew how to weaponize this. Tie a person's finances to guilt. Tie their success to fear of abandonment. Tie their saving to shame. They will bleed willingly. They will call it love. They will call it generosity. But spiritually, it is controlled loss. And here is the part most people miss. Religion alone does not cancel agreements. Prayer without authority is noise. If agreements are legal, they must be revoked legally. This is why some people pray harder and lose more. Because prayer exposes resistance but does not always close doors. Authority closes doors. And authority requires awareness, confession, and replacement. You must identify what was agreed to. You must renounce it. And you must establish a new authority structure. In the occult, we feared people who understood this, not emotional believers, not passive faith, but those who spoke with clarity and finality, those who understood that words are not expressions, they are permissions. If you want to save money, you must first stop feeding the agreements that hate stability. You must confront the sentences you repeat. You must challenge the family narratives you accepted. You must question the emotional relief you get from spending. Because relief can be a chain. And chains feel comfortable until you try to move. The truth is this. Some of you are not broke because you lack income. You are broke because you are honoring old contracts. And contracts do not break themselves. They must be terminated. And termination always causes resistance. Expect discomfort. Expect emotional pushback. Expect pressure. Because when authority shifts, enforcers react. But if you hold, if you speak, if you stand, money will begin to recognize you as its authority again. Not immediately, but progressively. Because systems collapse when their permissions are revoked. And the moment you stop agreeing with loss loses its voice. This is where most people become afraid. Because the moment you decide to change, resistance shows up. You save for the first time, and the car breaks down. You put money aside, and a family emergency appears. You receive extra income, and something unexpected demands it. You say, "This always happens," and you are right. But not for the reason you think. In the occult, this was called financial retaliation. When an agreement is challenged, enforcement activates. Spirits do not argue. They enforce. When you try to save money, you are silently declaring a shift in authority, and anything that benefited from your constant outflow feels threatened. So pressure is applied. Not to destroy you, but to scare you back into compliance. This is why the first attempt to save always feels punished. The system is testing you. It is asking one question: will you retreat? Most people do. They say, "I guess it's not the right time." They say, "Every time I try, something happens." They say, "I'll try again later." And the system relaxes. Because authority was not claimed, only attempted. Let me reveal something critical. Not every emergency is spiritual, but when emergencies appear only when you try to stabilize, something is watching. Patterns expose intelligence. Randomness does not repeat with precision. In occult operations, the goal was never to make someone poor overnight. That creates suspicion. The goal was to keep them almost free, almost stable, almost saved, almost ahead. Because almost keeps hope alive without power. This is why you must not panic when resistance appears. Resistance is confirmation. It means the system felt the shift. The mistake people make is responding emotionally. Fear opens doors. Anxiety reactivates agreements. Panic restores old authority. Spirits feed on urgency. The moment you say, I can't let this money sit, you have already surrendered. Saving money is not just financial discipline. It is spiritual defiance. It is saying, I will not be rushed. I will not be drained. I will not obey fear. And fear hates being disobeyed. This is why you must prepare mentally before you save financially. You must expect resistance. You must expect pressure. You must decide in advance not to break. In occult teachings, we were warned about people who could sit calmly while systems pushed against them, because calm is authority. If you save with fear, the system senses weakness. If you save with certainty, the system loses leverage. This is why your emotional state around money matters more than the amount. $10 saved in authority is more dangerous to the system than 1,000 saved in fear, because authority compounds. Let me speak directly to you. When something unexpected happens after you save, pause. Do not react immediately. Do not rush. Do not speak fear. Wait. Ask yourself, is this truly urgent or just loud? Many expenses lose power when they are not instantly fed. Urgency is a tactic. The system relies on speed. If it can move you quickly, it controls you. But if you slow down, evaluate, and respond deliberately, the pressure weakens. I have seen this happen repeatedly. People who hold their ground experience a strange shift. The emergencies reduce. The frequency decreases. The intensity weakens. Why? Because enforcement only works when authority is surrendered. This is why you must not interpret resistance as failure. It is confirmation that something old is being challenged, and challenges are never ignored. But here is the warning. If you retreat every time resistance appears, the system learns. It learns how little pressure is required to move you. And it will use that amount every time. This is how cycles harden. But if you stand calm, clear, unafraid, the system begins to withdraw. Not because it wants to, but because it must. Authority cannot be negotiated. And the moment money recognizes you as its final authority again, it stops responding to false alarms. You begin to experience peace around finances. Not abundance first, peace first. And peace is the foundation of saving. Because chaos and saving cannot coexist. This is the battle most people never see. And once you see it, you cannot unsee it. This is the final shift. And it is not emotional, it is authoritative. Freedom does not come when money increases. It comes when authority is restored. In the occult, we understood something deeply. Money does not follow effort. It follows order. And order is established by authority. You cannot save money consistently until money recognizes you as its final command. Not fear, not guilt, not urgency. Not old agreements, you. This is where many people fail because they want relief without confrontation. But authority requires confrontation. You must confront the words you spoke over your finances, the family narratives you accepted, the emotional comfort you get from spending, the fear you feel when money sits still. None of these are neutral. They are signals, and money responds to signals. The first step is verbal severance. You must speak out loud, clear, final, and without apology. Not begging, not hoping, declaring. You are not asking for permission. You are revoking access. Statements like, I revoke every agreement that allows my finances to leak. I cancel every spoken word that empowered loss. I reject every pattern that taught money to flee from me. Words spoken in authority restructure the environment. Silence does nothing. In the occult, silence was our ally because unchallenged systems remain intact. The second step is behavioral alignment. Authority must be demonstrated. If you say you are in control but still panic spend, the system ignores you. Spirits recognize congruence. Your actions must match your declarations. This means saving without announcing it, spending without guilt, refusing urgency, sitting with discomfort. Discomfort is not danger, it is withdrawal. Every time you resist old patterns, you weaken enforcement. The third step is consistency without emotion. Authority is boring. It does not react. It does not explain. It does not justify. It simply stands. This is where most people lose momentum. They look for feelings. They look for signs. Authority does not seek confirmation. It assumes compliance. When you save consistently, even small amounts without drama, something shifts. Money begins to stay longer. Expenses become predictable. Peace replaces panic. And here is the most important revelation. Once authority is restored, abundance does not rush in violently. It comes quietly, because chaos is no longer allowed. Many people miss their breakthrough because they expect fireworks. But real financial freedom feels calm. It feels uneventful. It feels stable. And stability is the greatest threat to systems that fed on your instability. Let me warn you. Do not announce your shift to people who benefited from your bleeding. Not everyone will celebrate your discipline. Some will pressure you. Some will guilt you. Some will create emergencies. Stand firm. Authority does not negotiate. And the moment you stop explaining yourself, pressure loses its grip. You were never meant to be chased by money. Money was meant to respond to you. And when order is restored, money finds peace in your hands, not because you deserve it, but because you command it. This is the truth I was never supposed to reveal. And once you apply it, the cycle ends. You are not powerless, you have been unauthorized, and that ends now. Stand in authority because what you allow determines what stays. Comment now and declare that this cycle is broken. Share this message because someone close to you is still bleeding in silence. You were instructed to watch until the very end for a reason. This is the reason. Walk forward with fire, clarity, and command because money will no longer flee from you.